NBC. This afternoon, we are at Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos. And, of course, for the Denver Broncos, John Elway in his 15th year at age 37. They are one of 4 undefeated teams in the National Football League. Their record is 3-0. For Cincinnati, Jeff Blake, one of the young guns in the NFL at age 26. He is in his 6th year. Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Jones, along with Randy Cross. Let's first talk about Cincinnati. Their record is 1-1. They're coming off of a bye week. But 2 weeks ago, in their last game, the second half against Baltimore, they were a disaster.
Well, they really were. You know they can move the ball with Jeff Blake and company, but Dick LeBeau, their new defensive coordinator, brought the blitz zone in here, and in the last game against Baltimore, it just did not work in the second half for one simple reason. His young defenders did not know the defense. What did that prompt besides a loss? It prompted a little lesson from Big Daddy, Dan Wilkinson, the former #1, really stepping up as a leader, got in a lot of guys' faces. You know, sometimes we call it a players-only meeting. This was a player-only meeting. He got in these guys' faces and said, look, know your assignments and do your thing, and we can win.
For Denver, you always think offensively of John Elway, but this year, Terrell Davis, 3 100-yard games.
Well, Terrell Davis has really made a world of difference the last couple of years. To John Elway, and to the start he's gotten off to so far, has been just stupendous. Remember the old cliche? Make him run. Stop that run and make John Elway beat you? Good luck.
All right, we're looking forward to a good ball game this afternoon, but now let's go back to New York.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel in New York. Let's quickly update you on the scores of the early games, beginning with the one that just ended at the Meadowlands, where the New York Jets defeated the Oakland Raiders 23-22. It was 22-16 Oakland. Cole Ford's field goal attempt blocked by Corwin Brown. Ray Mickens recovers for the Jets and returns 72 yards for the touchdown. With the extra point, the Jets take a 23-22 lead. They snap a 13-game losing streak at home. They beat the Raiders 23-22. Meanwhile, at Foxborough, the New England Patriots defeated the Chicago Bears 31-3. Rick Meyer got the start today for Chicago at quarterback. He was -2 yards throwing in the first half. It was all Patriots. Just before the break, Drew Bledsoe to Troy Brown. He takes it the distance. 52 yards in all. One of Bledsoe's 2 touchdown passes on the afternoon. The Patriots go to 4-0. The Bears fall to 0-4. 31-3 is the final. In Carolina, look at what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing to the Panthers. 35-7 is the score in the fourth quarter. Elvis Gerbach has thrown 3 touchdown passes for the Chiefs. In Green Bay, the Packers have defeated the Minnesota Vikings 38-32. Brett Favre, 5 touchdown passes. In Tennessee, the Baltimore Ravens looking to go 3-1. They lead the Oilers 36-10. And in New Orleans, Mike Ditka and the Saints win their first of the year 35-17. We'll send you to the kickoffs in Denver, Buffalo, and Seattle right after this.
And back here at Mile High Stadium, the Denver Broncos have won the toss. They will be receiving. And that means that Von Hebron is the return man, and he sets up shop a couple of yards into his own end zone. Doug Pelfrey will kick it away for the Cincinnati Bengals.
And Charlie, the new trend in the NFL this year, 97, don't hit the ball high and let your coverage get underneath it. Just drill that thing as far as you can and try to get it out of the end zone and make them start on the 20.
Overcast here in Denver, but warming up this afternoon. Almost a squib type kick, takes a high bounce. Jump catch by Hebron, who comes up and then is down to the 22-yard line, matching his own number, 17 yards on the return. Tom Tumulty makes the tackle, and let's take a look now at the Denver Bronco offense, led by the quarterback, John Elway. Here's his offensive line.
Hey, Charlie, I think this is one of the best offensive lines in the leagues that nobody knows anything about.
And the backs and receivers.
Shannon Sharp, keep an eye on 84, people. He's got the bad ankles. They've been bad for a couple years.
Terrell Davis gets the first call as expected, slips the tackle. He's going to move close to the 25-yard line. And he is stopped by Rico McDonald, one of the 2 inside linebackers, as we check out the front 7 of Cincinnati.
Hey, we told you about that Dan Wilkinson challenge. That is the group right there that has to take Terrell Davis or try to take him out of the ballgame.
The Bengals secondary.
Watch the safeties. Remember we talked about play-action pass. The safeties are the key to play-action pass.
2nd down and 7, 3 wide receivers. Davis gets the call again, has the whole left side, makes a nice inside-out move, picks up the 1st down across the 35-yard line, out to the 36-yard line, and he has a quick 12 yards on the play in the 1st down.
Terrell Davis holding that collarbone area right there after going down, but, you know, remember I told you, safeties are key to play action. Well, safeties are also key when they start leading you in tackles, and the first person to hit a Terrell Davis is a safety is an awfully bad sign for Bruce Coslett's defense.
Von Hebron replaces Terrell Davis as he comes out of the backfield. He'll be worked on or looked at on the near sideline. McCaffrey, the motion man, comes in and then back out. Hebron gets the call. He'll pick up a couple of yards on the play. Kimo von Oelhoffen makes the tackle.
Now, one thing about this offensive line of Denver that I like so much, Charlie, is you don't have to pound people and put them on their backs. You know, we all get hung up in this pancake thing. What Denver's offensive line does so well, and what Zimmerman there at right tackle 65 has done his entire career, he stays between the ball and the defender and gives that guy somewhere to go behind him to run. He's one of the best in the last 10, 20 years.
Derek Lavelle is now the remaining back. 3-step drop, Elway sack. Gerald Dixon got him, and that is only the 2nd sack of the year for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, you know, we've also talked about Dick LeBeau's defense, guys, and right here, there's Dixon, number 51. And just like you saw against Troy Aikman and other great quarterbacks in the last couple of weeks, early in the game, coordinators like Dick LeBeau are willing to take a shot, take a chance, and try to get a helmet on a quarterback. And there's Dick LeBeau right there.
4 wide receivers, 3rd down and 13. Blitz is coming, it's picked up. Pass is on target, close to the 1st down, leaning forward is Rod Smith. He has been the big play man for the Denver Broncos. Is this one going to be big enough? Let's see if he gets the spot.
Well, you know, the last play, they brought one more blitzer than the Broncos can handle. The pickup was made that time. And look at Smith's body language. He knew exactly where that 1st down marker was.
And a 1st down for the Denver Broncos. We'd like to welcome those of you that are watching the Baltimore-Tennessee game. Baltimore defeating Tennessee 36-10. This is the opening drive of the ball game between the Denver Broncos and the Cincinnati Bengals. John Elway's pass to Ed McCaffrey is incomplete. Jimmy Spencer had the coverage. We have no score. There's the final that we mentioned. Baltimore 36 and Tennessee 10.
Importantly, though, for the Cincinnati Bengals, folks, and if you're just joining us, we've seen John Elway twice so far in this possession, which is the Broncos' first, go down hard, once on a sack and once on a splat, because Ricardo McDonald came in and just leveled him that last play.
7th play of the drive. This drive started back at the 22-yard line. Here's the pitch to Davis, and Davis is cut down right at the line of scrimmage by Kimo von Oelhoffen.
You know, this Cincinnati defense, why do you change coordinators and why do you change a lot of things? Well, your defense really stunk last year at 96. You had an offense that was a playoff quality offense and a defense that would not hold up. Dick LeBeau comes over from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he has instilled on a defense that is very responsibility-based. That's why they had the problems 2 weeks ago. They forgot the responsibilities.
3 wide receivers at the top of the screen. The 4th wide receiver at the bottom. Elway has pressure. He's going to be sacked for the 2nd time in the ballgame. Renard Wilson, the rookie #1 draft choice out of Florida State, gets him.
Well, Charlie, actually it was Andre Collins, the former Redskin, number 55. Watch him coming from the inside of the screen, the linebacker position, and just come free right there. 55 gets Elway. How many times do you see an opening series for the Denver Broncos and Elway's getting knocked around like this? This is a perfect start for Coslett's defense.
Tom Ruin will be kicking. Greg Myers, local boy. His family is here. High snap. Gets the kick away. Flag is down. Fair catch is called for and taken at the 21-yard line. Flag back at the 28. 40 yards on the kick. Let's see if it's going to stand up or not.
I think it's going to be against the Broncos. You got to hold. Somebody got a necktie out on the end. When I say a necktie, that's somebody on the punt team putting an arm around the neck of the defender.
Holding on the kicking team, number 56. That foul is declined. First down.
I'm surprised. I thought they wanted him to kick it again. Perhaps better field position.
I wouldn't give a punter like Tom Ruin another shot at it 5 yards back. I mean, you're not going to get much better than the 21-yard line.
So Cincinnati moves on offense for the first time in the ballgame. No score, 10:53 time remaining. We're in the first quarter. And Cincinnati starts at their own 21-yard line.
Start now, Charlie, the power on.
Kijana Carter gets the call. And he's going to get 1 yard, and that is it. Let's look now at that offensive set for the Cincinnati Bengals. Their offensive line.
Well, the offensive line is the root of the problems offensively for this team. They need the tackles, Jones and Anderson, to step up monster big in this game.
Backs and receivers.
Well, I mean, this is a good quality group of receivers and backs.
Outstanding wide receivers. Second down and 9. Kijana hit at the line of scrimmage. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. It'll be third down and 9. Let's check out that Denver Bronco defense. Bill Romanowski with that last tackle. Here's their front four.
Hey, you don't want to face a front four like this, Charlie. If your offensive line is struggling, they will push those guys into the backfield, into the linebackers and defensive backs. And this linebacker and defensive back group is going to be challenged early by Jeff Blake and Pickens.
You'll have to throw here. It's third down and 9. Has a slot on the right side. Has pressure. In reality, was throwing it away. He goes to Kijana Carter. John Mobley was in hot pursuit. Oh, he led it in the backfield, didn't he?
Well, Dick LeBeau wants to give him the blitz when they had a little defensive opportunity. Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, brought all his dogs on that one right there. They line up in the slot-type defensive formation and brought the house.
So Lee Johnson will kick it away. It's going to be 3 and out for Cincinnati in their first offensive possession. And waiting at the 27-yard line, an outstanding return man, Darian Gordon. They don't want to take any chances as they go for the sideline. The NFL season extends to the World Wide Web on NFL.com, the league's official website. So visit NFL.com for all of the scores and stats, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores and action. Let's chat live with some of the NFL's biggest stars. It's all NFL.com. You're on there, aren't you? Every once in a while?
Oh, I'm all over the internet.
You are?
Charlie, let's keep an eye on Terrell Davis. Remember, he came out in that last series holding that left shoulder area.
First down at the 31-yard line. Davis is the tailback. Elway to throw on first down. There's better protection underneath the coverage. It is incomplete. He goes to Rod Smith as we go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Charlie, and we take you to Buffalo, where Indianapolis recovered a fumble punt and then immediately capitalized. Jim Harbaugh 10 yards to Aaron Bailey. That is the Colts' first offensive touchdown of the season, and the Colts are up on the Bills 7-0 in the first. Charlie?
Stranger things have happened, Greg. I saw Indianapolis last week in that struggle, and they didn't get near the end zone as far as the touchdown was concerned. Here's the pitch to Terrell Davis. Davis has the left corner, and after he's hit, still manages to pick up about 3 more yards. They'll mark it out near the 38-yard line.
Hey, that tired old cliche we talked about, stop the run and let Elway beat you. Well, right now, this offensive line is doing a good job of blocking for the run, giving Terrell Davis places to run and things to do, but so far the John Elway part of that equation has been on his back an awful lot with some pretty inferior protection and overmatched defensive schemes.
Terrell Davis with 3 100-yard games. This is the 4th game of the season. Already 4 carries, 21 yards. Elway 1 of 3, 13 yards. He's been sacked twice. Fakes the pitch out. He rolls. This is very dangerous. And he dives for it. He loves to do that. I think he has more fun when this happens at any other time of the ballgame. He really enjoys it.
Charlie, this is one of the cardinal sins. Watch Big Daddy right here. You got to keep contained. I don't care if it's on John Elway's right or John Elway's left. You don't let him outside of you. Now, he's got a little bit of an excuse as Tony Jones was trying to rip his jersey off holding him. But you don't let the quarterback, especially John Elway, break that contain.
And remember, Elway throwing only 1 of 3 thus far for 13 yards. It's a first down at the 42-yard line. Elway on target. Rod Smith. Smith down the sideline. Pulling a bingo with him inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. 25 yards on the play.
I don't know what Jimmy Spencer, number 22, is thinking at the end of that play, just trying to grab him by the jersey. Tackle him. Watch Smith, top of the screen, cuts right underneath McCaffrey on a crossing pattern. He's got Spencer trailing him, and watch Spencer. No. You grab the legs. It works a lot better than trying to rip the name off the back of his shirt.
At the bingo 32-yard line, we have no score in the ball game. Moving on the 7-minute mark, time remaining. We're in the first period of play. Nothing there for Davis. James Francis with the tackle. And a flag is down.
That's the game against John Copeland. He took a punch, I think, right at Brian Habib's head right at the end of that play.
The call from Mike Carey. Copeland is number 92.
Watch the very end on the right of the screen. See Habib on the ground being pushed in the back right there. Habib's pushing him. That's that slug in the right side of the head. And that's just an example. Bruce Kozlick's got to get on this defense and say, look, enthusiasm is great. Attacking is great. You got to keep your composure. Don't give this offense yards. Because, I mean, they'll take enough. Don't give them any.
So with the penalty, the ball goes to the Bengal 19-yard line. First down for Denver. When you're playing the Denver Broncos, you cannot give up yardage like that on stupid penalties.
And you also better keep track of Shannon Sharpnet when you get in this red zone area.
Pump fake, full spin, 360 degree. It was a middle screen, and he just downed it, and the flag is down.
That's going to be intentional grounding on John Elway. He was inside, and he didn't have a receiver anywhere near.
Looking for a middle screen, but you're right. All the receivers were outside. We'd like to welcome those of you that have been watching the Kansas City-Carolina game. The Chiefs defeating Carolina 35-14.
There are 2 fouls on the offense. And the other receiver downfield, number 75, that foul is declined. Intentional grounding. On the offense, number 7, 10 yards, loss of down, second down.
Well, I'll tell you, Charlie, what we've seen so far, we've seen all that pressure, and right here, take a look at a fluster foul. John Elway getting a little pressure, a lot of pressure actually, and getting a little flustered because the nearest receiver was Shannon Sharp, and he never left the right tight end position where he was pass blocking.
And part of the zone blitz is the blitz.
Well, that's the huge part of it in a Dick LeBeau defense. You're going to see a lot of zone behind it, but you better have the time. If Elway gets the time, he can beat this zone.
Elway now only 2 of 5, 38 yards. Again, he's been sacked twice in the ballgame. Second down and 20 at the Bengal 29. 3-step drop, and he misses. He goes outside to Von Ebron. It is incomplete, so it'll be third down and 20.
Yeah, this is a Sunday afternoon. It's a great day of the week. You got to love football season, but one thing you don't want if your quarterback is company, you might invite company over for a game, have the pretzels and sodas and stuff, but John Elway's having way too much company back there.
He wants his own space, doesn't he?
Yeah, he needs a lot of space because he's not getting much.
Speaking of space, where's Shannon Sharpnet?
Well, Shannon Sharp, remember I said earlier, his ankles have been bad. In the preseason game against New England, he tweaked that when he had surgically fixed and re-hurt it again last week.
He's the tight end on the right side with 3 wide receivers. Elway has to scramble, has even more pressure. He goes deep into coverage, pushing and shoving, may be intercepted in the end zone. Let's see what the call is as Cincinnati comes running out with the ball. We have not had a whistle. That is Tremaine Mack who comes out with the ball. Jimmy Spencer was back there for the tip. And it is an interception, and it will stand. And Cincinnati has the ball. Will step aside. 27 yards on the interception return.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. By Liberty Mutual Insurance, helping people live safer, more secure lives. That's the freedom of liberty. And by Intel, makers of the amazing Pentium 2 processor.
We come back. Elway pressured again. Interception in the end zone. The return outside the 25-yard line. Cincinnati with the bye week. They needed to work on the defense. So far, it has paid off. No score in the ball game. Bengals at their own 26-yard line, first down. Play action fake. He has pressure. One-hand grab. This is going to lose some yardage. Marco Battaglia with a one-hand grab and the loss of yardage, and flags fly at the 26 or 21-yard line.
It's a little extra effort on behalf of the Bengals and a little too much extra effort on behalf of the Broncos.
Personal foul on the defense, number 51. A late hit with the helmet. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
That's a late hit on John Mobley, but now let's go back to the interception in the end zone.
Well, you hear people like me yapping just incessantly about 5'9 DBs, 8'6'5 receivers. Throw it to the tall guy. John Elway threw it to the tall guy, McCaffrey. The short guy, Spencer, makes a great play. The ball never hits the ground, and Tremaine Mack comes out of that ball. Look at the ball. It's loose. He gets it, and he returns it. A great athletic play by Spencer with great body positioning.
McCaffrey never had a chance to touch him. He wasn't down, and he was on his feet as Mack came out with it. And a good none call by the officials who were right there in the end zone. Tijana Carter against the Denver defense is going to pick up about 2.5 yards. He's stopped by Ray Crockett.
And once more, real quick on that play, that interception by Elway, it was pressure from the defense that made Elway roll out that far to his left and throw that jump ball up there and set it up. So LeBeau's defense has decided, yeah, Terrell Davis is going to run on us, but we're going after John Elway.
And Elway off to a very slow start, as the numbers indicated. Second down and 8. Blake, a rainbow throw that'll come down in the receiver's hands, and it is caught, and there is a flag. Did he come down with it, or did he miss it?
Charlie, that's pass interference against Pickens.
Did he push him off?
He pushes off right at the very end. This is a play that he's used to running with his quarterback, but he pushed off the defender.
Pass interference on the offense, number 81.
You're right, it's on Carl Pickens.
Remains second down.
You call it the rainbow ball, Charlie. It's exactly how Blake likes to throw to Pickens, but watch right here at the end. He knows it's coming down early.
Ooh, I'm not from that angle.
Well, you got to look at it, because from this angle where I'm at right here, it looked like pass interference. Watch at the end. Right there, that left arm pushing off. He knows it's coming down short. That is a planned play. It's a planned underthrow.
So with the penalty, the ball goes back to the 31-yard line.
But, you know,
second down and 18.
Carl Pickens brought up a great point to us yesterday, Charlie. He says, it depends on who you are. The Jerry Rices and the Michael Irvins get away with that little of a push.
You're right. You are right. Second down and 18. Three-step drop. It is intercepted. A flag is down. It is intercepted off, but they're going to bring it back. And another flag is down.
It's a personal foul going to be called against Alfred Williams hitting Jeff Blake. That play was whistled.
I'm not sure anybody heard the whistles.
The play was whistled dead.
But nobody, I didn't hear it. And I got my volume turned up.
There was no play. Delay a game against the offense. There was no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct. The ball was intercepted. Second down.
Now watch the end. You know why this isn't a foul? He doesn't quite know what to make of this. Now you know what it is? He's an offensive player. That's why there is no foul. The ball was intercepted. The player thought he was on offense. The play was whistled dead.
We've had a little bit of everything as the ticker goes rolling by to give you a chance at home to catch up what else has happened today. 4:21 and counting. We're in the first quarter. We are in a scoreless ball game.
And we're seeing a pretty good spike in Bruce Cause's blood pressure right here, too.
Second down and 23. Here's a rainbow down this sideline. And it is caught. It is Pickens coming out on the near sideline. And he is going to go out of bounds at the Denver 43-yard line. 31 yards on the play, first down. Remember, 2nd and 23.
Well, watch, Darian Gordon, when we talked to him yesterday, he told us, this is a tough pass to defend because it just drops straight in. Honestly, that's good, tight coverage. You can't defend that pass if it is thrown properly. And Carl Pickens goes to the perfect spot for Jeff Blake to parachute that thing in there.
Pickens, 8 catches in each of the 2 ball games that the Bengals have played this year. Here's the quick out, far side. It is Pickens, and he goes to the 35-yard line.
Nice game. One thing that defenders have done for the last year or so against Carl Pickens and Jeff Blake is they've played what's known as a cover 2, too deep, just a zone where they won't let you throw behind them, or a cover 6 where you almost stack the safeties behind the corner. Jeff Blake and Carl Pickens have said, okay, fine. They've adjusted their routes, they've adjusted their techniques. They're willing to take the short ones and let Pickens try to turn it into the long one.
Jeff Blake, he's shown the rainbow now. He can show in the last one that he can really drill it for 8 yards. 2nd down and 2. Another flag is down as Ki-Jana Carter gets the call. This must be Flag Day in Colorado.
We've seen a little bit of everything and too much of that.
Offsides, defense, number 94, 5 yards. The measurement gives a first down.
NBC's premiere week starts on Monday, tomorrow, with 5 nights of all-new must-see comedy. All your favorites will be back with all new episodes, plus ER premieres with a live broadcast. We'll be talking more about that. In other words, they're going to do what we do. I thought I'd throw that in. Don't miss a minute. NBC Premiere Week starts tomorrow night.
I bet you don't see a single replay and they don't get a telestrator. Though a telestrator in a medical show could be kind of interesting.
They might want to add a telestrator. They could add a replay also. First down, Cincinnati. Carter has the hole on the right side, and he plows his way for the first down. Ki-Jana Carter. Tyrone Braxton finally makes the tackle. 12 yards on the play.
Just a good, smart job by Ki-Jana, because remember, he hasn't had much going on. Not a whole lot of room, so Ki-Jana goes in here, and he's covering the ball with both arms. See that? He's not going to let the people rip it loose. Once he clears the line of scrimmage, he clears that off arm, and he goes into the defensive backfield. But the 2 hands on the ball around the big bodies, and once you get to the little guys, they can't rip it loose.
16 yards and 4 carries for Carter. He's the remaining back. He carries. Jump step to the outside, comes back inside. 16-yard line, good for 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Denver defense has been tough this year. Neil Smith making that last tackle.
And it's been because up front, they've added guys like Neil Smith and Keith Traylor. And they've said, okay, you can't go right at us. Well, Cincinnati, with bad offensive line as it is, says, okay, we'll go at you.
What do you call their front four? Denver's front four?
Well, it's the all-mercenary team. They're all from somewhere else making a bunch of cash.
3-step drop. Pickens, right side. 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and still speaking of the all-mercenary team, here they are.
Well, you just look at where they were, where they are. They all have 2 things in common. They're all pretty much at the top of their game, and they've all got nice big bank accounts now. This is a Denver Broncos organization and Denver Broncos team that spent a lot of money to win now. They need good defense now for John Elway in this offense.
And you say to do that, you have to have an NFC-type defense, big, strong, aggressive.
Tough, physical up the middle, speed at the linebacker.
The Broncos have that. We'll have the answer for you from Randy Cross when we come back. Don't go away. No score in the volume.
This is the NFL on NBC.
This drive by Cincinnati started with Tremaine Mack's interception in the end zone of John Elway's pass, only the 2nd interception of the season. 3rd down and 2. Here is Carter. And the defensive surge, it will be close to the first down. He may have it. Ki-Jana Carter. Is there another flag down?
No, Ki-Jana Carter is down, Charlie. I mean, he was fighting for those yards, and he was yacked down very, very hard, grabbed by the jersey right on his shoulder, and got up extremely slowly.
He is hurting. He's going to go back down to his knees.
See the way he's holding that left shoulder. Watch the pull down. It's not a tackle or a takedown. It's right there. See that elbow out like that? When you land on the elbow, when you land on the shoulder, you start fighting and squirming, making sure that ball's over that first down line. You lose a lot of regard for your body, and sometimes you pay for it.
And it is barely by just a couple of inches the first down. It'll be first down and goal to go. We have an injury timeout. We'll step aside. We'll be back in just a moment. As we come back, 17 seconds left in the first quarter. The defense of the Broncos. I asked you that question about him just a moment ago. Bruised left shoulder, by the way, on Carter. He will be back.
Well, it would appear that they've built that type of defense here in Denver. Kijana would definitely agree that they do know how to hit. This is the number of points allowed so far. And I mean, this is why you spend the money on defense, is to make that type of an impact in this league. And Greg Robinson there, the defensive coordinator, has got some toys. We don't always talk about toys on defense, but you look at that front four, you look at that linebacking crew led by Bill Romanowski, really the steadying influence, number 53 on the defense, and some very talented defensive backs. He's got all the toys he needs to torture offenses.
Eric Bieniemy is the tailback. Pickens is wide to the left. Blake rolls, throws back, has a man wide open as a tight end, Tony McGee. Touchdown, Cincinnati. And the Bengals go on the scoreboard first.
Charlie, there's a Bruce Coslett, almost Bill Walsh type of a roll one way and put it where they ain't. Because the Denver defense, we talked about how quick and how aggressive and how active. Well, they paid for being quick and active and aggressive right there. They reacted so hard on the onside fake. McGee came all the way from the right side for that catch.
The extra point attempt by Pelfrey is up, and it is good. And the Cincinnati Bengals take the early lead, a score of 7-0, with 1 second left to play in the first quarter. Are you surprised?
Well, I'm surprised by two things. One is the defense of the Bengals being able to attack and confuse this offense of the Broncos. And I'm really surprised that Bruce Coslett's able to hide his guys so well in the receiving game. Because on that last play, McGee does the old hiding, the hidden tight end. You know what a hidden tight end is? Watch Tony McGee, the right tight end that you've got right there. The right tight end. He falls down, and when he falls down, look at him squirt across. That is an old Paul Brown play. That's a play that Bill Walsh learned from Paul Brown. That is a play that Coslett learned from Bill Walsh and Paul Brown. And you think he's seen that work a couple times?
So with 1 second left to go in the first quarter, the Cincinnati Bengals are out in front of Denver by a score of 7-0. And Doug Pelfrey will be kicking it away. Von Hebron is the deep return man. When they opened the ball game, it was a squib-type kick. This time it goes deep. And Hebron, an excellent return man at the 1-yard line. Through the 15, looks for the corner. That's a piece of it, and that's about it. A nice return out to about the 25-yard line. 24 yards on the return. Andre Collins with the tackle. That's the end of the first quarter, and Cincinnati has a 7-0 lead. This is Charlie Jones, Randy Cross. We start the second quarter, Mile High Stadium. The Broncos trailing 7-0 at the 25-yard line. And they open on the ground with Terrell Davis. He's going to pick up about 3 yards. John Elway has been struggling. 2 interceptions already, 2 of 7, only 38 yards. His opening drive, he really had problems.
The key is pressure. Last year in '96, John Elway was sacked 5 times in the game by 2 teams. Seattle and Cincinnati in the game at Riverfront last year that they won 14-10. So it's not the first time he's got a lot of these kind of ugly orange striped helmets on his back. I'm sorry, they're not kind of ugly, they are.
They're from the jungle. Elway sets and throws, and he hits Rod Smith. Smith will pick up the first down as we go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Charlie, and we'll talk about those Indianapolis Colts who are having something of an uprising today. Marshall Faulk, 9 yards and a touchdown. Boy, these Colts who had 19 points all season coming in have scored 14 already today. They're up on the Bills by 2 touchdowns, second quarter, Charlie.
That is absolutely amazing.
And that's no slouch defense they're doing it against either.
So the Colts, the playoff team the last 2 years, are finally getting on track offensively. Here's Ed McCaffrey. And he'll have 9 yards on the play. That was a first down, so it'll be second down and 1.
And McCaffrey makes a cardinal error for a wide receiver, and they all know it. That is, when you get the ball outside, if you don't stay outside, you know what's waiting for you inside. Are the bigger guys and the linebackers. Nothing outside, go inside. Linebacker, Ricardo McDonald, right in his face.
And John Elway now has moved into second in the career all-time completions behind Dan Marino, passing Fran Tarkenton. Well, Davis first down, 46-yard line of Cincinnati. Greg Myers with the tackle.
Yeah, it's one of the things Elway wants to do now. We talked about the pressure. He wants to turn around, get the ball, hand it to Terrell Davis and say, okay, pressure this. It's kind of hard to think about blitz when you got one of those linemen's helmets right under your chin.
First down, Denver started this drive at the 25-yard line. Bengals are up 7-0. We're about 2.5 minutes deep into the second quarter. Here's Davis again. Great shot to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 11 yards and another first down.
And just another gash in the middle of the Cincinnati defense. And a nice job up front by the blocking pattern of the Denver Broncos, specifically Zimmerman coming from the right tackle. It hits late, but watch Zimmerman come this way on this play and set this whole thing up. Late, bang. Working right there against Copeland. Just pushes the former #1 draft pick right out of the way.
Terrell Davis going for his fourth straight 100-yard game. Has 41 yards rushing thus far, and you can add a couple more to that total as he will move to the 31-yard line. Actually add 4 to that total. It'll be second down and 6.
Yeah, I mentioned during one of the commercials a while ago, I was very curious to see how Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak were going to react and adjust to this defense and the way that Dick LeBeau is attacking John Elway. It's very simple what Mike Shanahan's done. He is taking the attack John Elway out of the equation right here, and he's given him a steady diet of Terrell Davis, an offensive line, to take a little bit of that slack off him.
Interesting. Bingo said they wanted to take away the run of Terrell Davis and let make John Elway try and beat him. That's not working. Terrell Davis, they can't take that away. Elway has pressure, but he goes deep, has a man wide open. And McCaffrey touchdown. He was wide open. There wasn't a bingo within 10 yards of him.
McCaffrey gives his teammates what's now called the mile-high salute after that touchdown. And that's the reason you want a good running game, because if you can pound the defense and you got John Elway at quarterback, he's going to make you pay for trying to hit him.
Jason Elam to attempt the point after a 32-yard touchdown pass. It is good, and we are tied at 7. There is a signal from Mike Carey and the mile-high salute. Back with a kickoff in a moment. It's an NBC afternoon on this last day of summer.
Oh, you could have fooled me in Denver.
Without kicking and screaming, didn't you?
I've never been in this kind of place, Toto, where this is summer.
David Dunn and Corey Dillon are the deep backs on the kickoff return. Jason Elam will kick it away. And Dunn takes it a yard deep. This is his first action coming off of an injury. He's been active the previous 2 ball games, and he's out to the 23-yard line. 24 yards on the return. 10:53 time remaining for his half. Tied at 7, and back in a moment.
NBC is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Miller Lite, now official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by the motor oil that provides maximum protection. Castrol GTX. Drive hard.
Welcome back to Mile High Stadium. There was a shot of Randy and the horse as he came to the stadium this morning.
Not much for speed, but pretty good style points.
All right, Cincinnati from their own 22-yard line. They have thrown for 48 yards, rushed for 21. Blake 5 of 6, including the touchdown pass. And Blake to throw, and he's going to be sacked. That is the first time that he has been sacked in this ball game. Bill Romanowski got it.
And that was a little defensive momentum, but watch McCaffrey here go right straight up the field. The blown coverage is right there between the safety and the corner, the communication. Watch McCaffrey, look at that. Hello, McFly, receiver in town. You might want to cover that guy. I mean, this is, all seriousness aside, this is a good job of execution, not only by McCaffrey just running, but Elway just gunning that thing 40 yards on a rope.
Second down and 18, back at the 15-yard line. Pressure again, dumps it off to the fullback, Brian Mills. Stop made by John Mobley as we go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Charlie, Randy was just talking about defensive momentum. How about this for the Chargers? Warren Moon throws, Rodney Harrison picks, and he's gone. 75 yards for a touchdown. Game was tied at 3-3. Not any longer with the extra point. The Chargers jump ahead of the Seahawks. The score is 10-3, 12 and change to play in the first half. Charlie?
All right, thank you, Greg. Kijana Carter with that bruised left shoulder is back in the ballgame for Cincinnati. It's third down and 19. Both backs stay in the block. He goes deep. Pass is complete. A huge first down to David Dunn. That is Dunn's first reception this year. He has a broken bone in his left hand, has a soft cast on it, and boy, does he make the big play. And they said he's the big playmaker.
Well, you know, the key there really, though, when you talk about it, is you've got to think about a receiver coming in here, the composure and the calm that takes. This entire offense takes a deep breath, comes on the field. They've just watched Elway and the offense score a touchdown. The defense gets two big plays against them. David Dunn comes in and makes a huge third down. And as a team, the Bengals take a deep breath.
That was third down and 19, 30 yards on the play. Corey Dillon is cut down for a loss. John Mobley is the man who made the tackle.
You know, one thing that David Dunn really adds is a confidence factor, not only with Pickens and company and Darnay Scott as a receiving group, but Jeff Blake thinks this guy's the best slot receiver in the NFL. I mean, he has that much faith in Dunn, and that's what this guy means. I mean, think about this time last week, Dunn had a cast on that left hand. Now he's just got a tiny little thing, like a pad, working right on the top of that left wrist.
And you saw the ticker go by, a chance to catch up with the scores around the league. We're tied at 7. Roll out, throw incomplete. Flag dropped way back at the 39-yard line.
It's going to be against the offensive line of the Bengals.
Tony McGee may be an offensive pass interference call.
And Bill Romanowski's being asked, what do you want to do? That's an easy one. Back him up and make Kozlik go longer.
Pass interference on the offense, number 71. Blocking downfield, 10-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Willie Anderson, a tackle, pass interference?
Well, Willie Anderson.
That's oxymoronic, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that is not Willie Flipper Anderson. That is Willie Anderson, the offensive tackle.
6'5", 335 pounds.
He's a man.
That's right, but he's not a wide receiver.
He passed big guy a long time ago. That is a man, but that's a man who does not belong downfield.
Second down and 21. He has the wide of the wide receiver. Dropped out of the backfield with Corey Dillon. Dillon to the 40-yard line, a gain of about 6 yards on the play. Be third down and 15. Be sure to join us next Saturday at 12 noon Eastern Time, 11 Pacific, as Tiger Woods leads the Americans in the Ryder Cup. And then on Sunday, join us at 8 a.m. Eastern and a time change for our viewers on the West Coast, We are going to be live at 5 a.m. It's going to be 5 a.m. You got to get up early, but it's worth it for the live coverage. Set your alarm. Final day. It's all next weekend on NBC. The good news is I'm in Atlanta on Eastern Time.
If you're a golfer, watching is not an option.
That's right. Both backs in the block. Has time, runs out of time. Flag down, scramble, and Blake is down.
Well, you had two things go on there in the pit area. One was what looked like a tackle by the offensive guard. The other one was a little grab on the face mask of Jeff Blake.
May have been Ma'atanavasa.
Got the helmet more than the face mask, though.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Now remember, that was 3rd down and 15, and it's a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Does he let go? No, it keeps twisting around, twists the head. Look at his helmet's twisted around. Half of his face is gone. He's trying to read defenses through the right ear hole of his helmet.
There's Neil Smith.
That's 3 gigantic 3rd downs, but this Denver defense has had 1 a mental lapse and 2 a penalty lapse. This is just the kind of drive that Cincinnati needs to keep that calm and that composure. It's the last thing Mike Shanahan wants to see.
Ball game is tied at 7 with 7 minutes and 18 seconds left in the first half. Cincinnati at the Denver 48-yard line. Sliding through is Corey Dillon. Dillon inside the 45 to the 43. Bruce Kozla told us that he wanted to take a look at Corey Dillon. He said he's a young rookie. He has a great body lean, a lot like Marcus Allen. He's going to lean at the end and get a couple more yards for you. He said he's a north-south runner, which is the premier compliment.
Well, that's the perfect guy, too, to have running in a game like this where it's physical, you're getting a lot of hitting, and you're getting a little extra sugar after the ball's down, too. I mean, there's a little words exchange, a little push for the tight end from Romanowski. I mean, these guys are not trying to make friends and get somebody on their Christmas card list right now.
Here's John Carter on the draw. Drop for a loss. Well, Romanowski was there. He's having a good ball game defensively.
Well, you know, this is a offensive back's nightmare. You just got hit real good by Romanowski. Now watch the blocking pattern on Bill Romanowski on this play. Blocking pattern. You're not going to block him? There's a real good chance Bill Romanowski is going to do that. You got to allow for a guy like him, and don't ever expect any back down out of this guy right here.
3rd down and 7. Eric Bieniemy. He's going to have a couple of yards, and that's going to be it. The defense of Denver rises up to stop the Bengals.
You know, and Bill Romanowski, we were talking about him, is doing something pretty smart right here. He's waving to the defense saying, get off the field. You don't want to get into a chipping contest with this offense right now. Don't play their game.
3rd down and 7. You surprised he didn't throw it?
Not really, because that's exactly what the call was for. Bruce Kozla was trying to catch everybody off guard.
Darian Gordon is the return man. Lee Johnson will kick it away for Cincinnati. Fair catch is called for. Steps away. Goes into the end zone for the touchback. So we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 43 yards on the kick. 4:52 time remaining first half. Tied at 7.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now to enjoy a hot and delicious Domino's Pizza by halftime. For a hot and wow, call Domino's now.
While we were away, folks, Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator here, talking to his linebackers. You got Romanowski, you got Aldridge, and you got Mobley. And they're talking about one thing, that's jamming up receivers, jamming up that tight end. Looking for crossing people. To see Robinson there, rah! You know, a lot of coaches stay calm, cool, and collected. Greg Robinson burns calories coaching.
John Elway, 5 of 10, 88 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He's been sacked twice in the ball game. And they go right back to Terrell Davis. This was so effective on their last drive.
They also did something right there, Charlie, they're going to store in the memory banks, and they did it so that Dick LeBeau and the defensive coaches will store in their memory banks. They faked a return, or a reverse to McCaffrey. McCaffrey got a fake handoff from Terrell Davis after Davis got the ball from Elway. It's a kind of a guessing game. Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak go back and forth, just trying to give people something to think about.
You smell popcorn? I smell popcorn. That is making me hungry. Great grab downfield by Rod Smith.
What are the odds of smelling popcorn in the stadium, Charlie?
Pretty good. Jimmy Spencer makes a tackle. That is the 4th reception of the ball game for Rod Smith.
As Spencer playing the defense on Smith, pure timing by the John Elway in this offense. It's something that Smith and Elway have just now started to develop. Remember, John Elway has hit Smith twice this year for 70-plus yard receptions, one for a touchdown last week against the Rams.
And he has 4 receptions for 58 yards in the ballgame. Here's Terrell Davis. First down, Denver.
You know, when you look at Terrell Davis, he does not look like a big, imposing back. One of those real bruise you up and hurt you, kind of run you over type backs. Well, Terrell Davis has got the yards he's gotten. He's got 300-yard games in a row because he likes to run inside the tackles. And he also runs about 2 feet off the ground. And so far, he's got 11 carries for 55 yards.
More than halfway to his 4th 100-yard game rushing in a row. 3 minutes, time remaining, second quarter. Ball game tied 7-7. Here's Davis again. Nice inside-out move. Ball comes loose. They may rule it down. No. He was down. No fumble. Brown cannot cause a fumble. You know that if you follow pro football. To mark the ball at the 44-yard line of Cincinnati, first down.
Well, you know, the great thing about this run is how fast he exploded through the line of scrimmage. And as you see here, the ground definitely caused that fumble. But remember the last drive of the Broncos. What'd they do? Did they risk John Elway? Did they throw a lot of passes? No. They slammed them with Davis. They slammed them with Davis. And then they got McCaffrey free on a blown coverage for a touchdown.
Check out the ticker of the other scores. And here's Davis again. 33-yard line. Another first down.
Well, Terrell Davis is showing you both styles of backs. You got the splat back that splatters defenders, and you got the scat back that makes them miss. Last couple of runs, he's been the splat back. He's giving you a little scat back right there, spinning away as the safety Myers tried to fill up there and make a tackle.
2-minute warning. We'll step aside. Terrell Davis has rushed for 82 yards. Back in line.
Sunday at the special time of 12:30 Eastern on the NFL on NBC. The Jaguars, the Redskins, Natron Means and unbeaten Jacksonville invade the nation's capital. Or Elway's Broncos face the Falcons. Or regional action. The NFL on NBC next Sunday at the special time of 12:30 Eastern.
2 minutes to go. First half. Broncos on the march. Bengal 33-yard line. First down. Elway to throw. Goes deep down the sideline. Shannon Sharp. He's underthrown, incomplete. Maybe the first time he's gone to Shannon Sharp in the ballgame, as far as I can remember. Here's a reminder coming up: the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Joe Gibbs, Sam White, and Chris Collinsworth will bring you all the scores and highlights of today's action around the league, and some very interesting scores. Indianapolis for one. Kansas City earlier over Carolina. The Jet-Oakland game came right down to the end of the volume. We've got another good one going here.
This is the game. This game here is a perfect example of an early season game, because people go crazy. They go, oh, they're 0-3. Oh, they're 3-0. Nobody right now is as good or as bad as you think.
What? Cincinnati and Denver, each with 2 timeouts remaining. Second down. Elway goes deep. This time it is incomplete to Rod Smith.
Got a flag down going to be called against Spencer. Spencer or Rod Smith. They were hand fighting back there.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 22. Automatic.
On Jimmy Spencer. Pass was way underthrown.
this has got to be a lot more flagrant than Pickens, or you can't really like it. That's a touch on the arm.
My.
Give me a break. Give me a break. That's nowhere near pass interference for starters. And secondly, Rod Smith had absolutely no chance of catching that ball.
And also Rod Smith will be called for offensive pass interference.
Yeah,
officials were 0 for 3.
That's a bad one.
Terrell Davis going to be stopped around the 3-yard line. Dan Wilkins and Rico McDonald make the tackle. Cincinnati has been penalized 5 times for 68 yards. Denver 4 times for 46. Minute and a half remaining in the first half.
And Bruce Coslet and Dick LeBeau right there. You know, they go in at halftime after the kind of half they've had so far. If they give up the points here, they still have to tell their team, you know, you have stood toe-to-toe with these guys and you slugged it out. It's a matter of calm. It's a matter of composure. And it's a matter of not making the dumb mistakes. When you play a favorite like John Elway and the Broncos in this stadium, you've got to flat out win the game. You can't expect the breaks.
Elway took the count on the play clock down to 1 second, called the timeout. Back in a moment. For the Denver Broncos, second down and goal to go to the Cincinnati 3-yard line. 1 minute, 4 seconds, time remaining first half. Terrell Davis is the remaining back, 3 wide receivers. McCaffrey comes across in motion. Meanwhile, the handoff to Terrell Davis. He's going to be down. He bounced into the end zone, but down about 1.5 yards out, and he was hit by everybody along that defensive line.
If this is Australian rules football and they bounce into the end zone, you probably get the score, and they raise the big giant pom-poms for Mike Shanahan's offense. But Terrell Davis clearly down there in an opportunity and a shot taken by Shanahan, spreading out the defense and just trying to quick snap one right up the middle on Cincinnati.
9th play of the drive, again 3 wide receivers on the set. Elway to throw. Rolling right, throws, touchdown. Rod Smith. That is his 3rd touchdown of the year. Denver takes the lead for the first time in the ballgame.
So far in the first half, John Elway's offense, 15 passes, 15 runs. Early pressure on the passes, brought in the run, took the sting off the pass rush, and has resulted in 2 easy scores using the pass.
Jason Elam with the point after is good. And the Broncos move on top by a score of 14-7.
And Rod Smith, another big play for this Broncos offense that's been looking for a home run hitter. Smith just does a little touch and go on Corey Sawyer. Right there, just hits and goes right underneath McCaffrey for the touchdown.
And here's a program note. On NBC premiere Tuesday, all of America will see the Mad About You Baby Come Home.
Help me! What up? It's like some kind of Rubik's Cube.
And the baby's name?
We would like you all to meet.
All right, you have to find out when Mad About You premieres this Tuesday on NBC Premiere Week. I was suggesting Charlie, there's the name for it. And Randy is a backup. A little bit of indecision. Corey Dillon, the return man for the Cincinnati Bengals, still on his feet outside the 30, the 35-yard line. Jason Elam misses him down the sideline, struggles his way into Denver territory. An outstanding return after a bit of a mental mistake, figuring out if he really wanted to take it or not. 56 yards on the return.
Well, just a little hesitation, Charlie. He had him right where he wants him. Sometimes these kickoff teams don't deal well with hesitation because they're expecting the kickoff team to come right at them on that return. They didn't get the right at him. And what Cincinnati gets right here with 13 seconds left on the clock is great field position. And don't forget what we talked about earlier, the Jeff Blake rainbow ball dropping out of the sky from here.
13 seconds. Time remaining first half. Tries this with the Pickens. He gets to the sideline, stops the clock. 8 seconds left. Time for play, or do you go with a long field goal attempt here?
Real long field goal attempt,
sure.
and I think Bruce Kozlitt's in a situation right here where he can take a chance in the end zone right now. I mean, this will run off, I think, 5, 6, possibly 7 seconds. It's a gamble to go into the end zone, but it's a smart gamble if you take it.
Pickens in the slot. Eric Bieniemy, the remaining back. It's incomplete. Going to Pickens on the sideline. Meanwhile, a pushing, shoving contest continues amongst the offensive and defensive line.
Boy, that was really stupid by Alfred Williams. He threw an air punch right there. If he'd have landed, he'd have gotten himself a 15-yard penalty. I don't care if they're holding you. I don't care what they're doing to you. In this situation, you don't give a team 15 yards on a personal foul.
From the 46-yard line, a 56-yard field goal attempt by Doug Pelfrey. This year, he is hit from 46. 56 yards away. Way short. As time expires. At the end of the first half, the Denver Broncos, coming from behind against a very tough Cincinnati ball club, have the lead of 14-7. Now, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York City.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. For hot and wow, call Domino's. Now,
welcome back to our studios in New York, everyone. Along with Joe Gibbs, Sam Weish, and Chris Collinsworth, I'm Greg Gumbel. Let's run down the scores and the highlights in the game that you are watching now. At halftime, the Denver Broncos are leading the Cincinnati Bengals 14-7. John Elway, a couple of touchdown passes, but John Elway will admit his best friend these days is Terrell Davis.
No question about it. And I talked with Bruce Kozlitt, the head coach of the Bengals, this week, and he said the only goal that we have in this game is to shut down Terrell Davis. Well, so far, 15 for 85 yards, something like 6 yards per carry. Even when defenses are completely geared to shutting down this guy, they still simply cannot get it done. And I think in the second half, going to be very tough to stop these Broncos.
All right, Chris, in Atlanta, or in San Francisco, the Atlanta Falcons.
Extra with Kevin Hunt, Sundays at 11:05.
Halftime, Mile High Stadium. The Denver Broncos leading the Cincinnati Bengals by a score of 14-7. I'm Charlie Jones with Randy Cross. Your impression of the first half?
I love the first half. You've had a couple of defenses play good ball. One offense making big plays on second and third down. That's Cincinnati. That's why that yard total's so low. And John Elway and the Denver offense got hammered early and then just said, okay, we're going to pound it at you. And they pounded at him for 92 yards, making Terrell Davis the focus of the offense.
And you had a chance, of course, to look at the Coors Light halftime stats as Jason Elam kicks it away. David Dunn through the 10, 15, has an opening across the 20, down at the 21-yard line. Quarterback comparison, Jeff Blake and John Elway.
You know, on the surface, John Elway 7 of 13. You're saying, well, that's not so bad. 2 touchdowns. He had a pick. He was just getting splattered early, and his running game helped him. Jeff Blake has been the offense, he and Carl Pickens, for the Cincinnati Bengals. They have gotten very little production out of their running game and absolutely nothing on first down. They need production to set up Bruce Kozlitt's play calling on first down.
Double tight end set, Kijana Carter, the remaining back. Carter, big hole, cuts to the outside. He could blow all the way. 40, he's got it. First play of the second half. 79 yards.
Charlie, you want a little help on first down to help out the play calling? Best play call a coach can have is get the PAT team on the field.
Kijana Carter still does not have a 100-yard game rushing, but he's knocking on the door. 98 yards.
Look at the cutback off some nice blocking by that offensive line. And now it's a guy that's been knocked about his knee, knocked about being tentative since he had hurt that knee. Nothing tentative and nothing slow about that running back right there.
A 79-yard burst on the first play from scrimmage. Opening moments, second half, tied again, this time at 14. 14-14, the Bengals and the Broncos back with another kickoff in just a moment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by the Mitsubishi Montero Sport, the smooth-riding sport utility vehicle built for living. By Pizza Hut, we've got a pizza waiting for you. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher, you don't have to live thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up. And by MetLife, get Met. It pays.
The Cincinnati Bengals have just administered an all quiet to 75,000 Bronco fans here at Mile High Stadium. 79-yard touchdown run by Carter. Here's the kickoff high. Very, very short. Taken by one of the upbacks. This, I believe, is a linebacker who is returning it. Keith Burns, backup middle linebacker. Let's go back to the touchdown.
That run right there is a great cutback by Kijana Carter, but Rick Brown, number 74, makes a fabulous block on a cutback for Carter, and then it's just all Kijana speed. Watch the offensive line, the block right there by Bram, and he is gone.
That is the longest rush this year in the National Football League. Robert Smith had the previous long of 79 yards against the Bills in the first week. Fake again. No, fake of the reverse again. Hand off to Terrell Davis. They keep faking that, don't they? They keep faking that. They're setting it up.
Well, that's the second time that they've done that to the Bengals defense. First time, remember, it was McCaffrey. That time it was Von Hebron coming from the far side in as a running back in a slot position.
Gain of 4, second down and 6. We're just a minute deep into the second half. McCaffrey in motion. Davis counters to the 50-yard line. He has 4, third down and 2. A report on Tom Tumulty, the linebacker has he has a contusion, right thigh, right knee, right thigh, will not return.
As a starting inside linebacker, remember they're thin there already. That means they've got to make a change inside, and that's right where the Denver Broncos have been attacking this 3-4 defense.
Third down and 2, Elway sets, fires incomplete. In and out of the hands of Rod Smith. Did his knee hit it when he reached down for it? That can happen. And that will kick the ball away.
Well, the key phrase on a receiver, we call them a catch. So often receivers get traps. They trap the ball between the body and the shoulder pad and whatnot. And rarely do you see a receiver that consistently catches with his hands, just snatches the ball out of the air.
Tom Ruin will kick. The return man is Greg Myers, played his collegiate ball at Colorado State. He's from Windsor, Colorado. That's about an hour's drive from Denver. Most of his family is here except his Uncle Wayne. He said he's too nervous. He's pacing at home watching television. 16-yard line, fair catch. 34 yards on the kick. 13:08, time remaining, third quarter. Ball game is tied at 14.
You're watching the NFL on NBC.
Number 31 on the bench, Greg Myers, starting strong safety, the return man that we were talking about a moment ago. Well, he came up with some 35 tickets, and there's Mom, Carol Myers, watching in the stand. Mom is nervous, as you can see. Cincinnati, the 16-yard line. First down. Play action fake. Lincoln run. That's about 8 yards, close to 9 on the play. John Mobley takes him out of bounds.
And what we've seen now, Charlie, you had the great big play on the last one by Kijana Carter. Now you get Jeff Blake, a good gain on first down. They've come out right from the get-go in the second half, and they've made effective plays in their first 2 attempts on first down. It's what they have to do to take the pressure off of Jeff Blake. Can he win the game by himself? Yeah, with his weapons outside, maybe he can, but he shouldn't have to.
Second down and 1. You saw the ticker go by. A chance to update the scores in the NFL today. Carter, not that big a hole over the left side. This time it was closed down, but he may have enough to pick up the first down. Is that enough to take him past the 100 mark?
Hey, remember, Charlie, last time this young man was over 100 yards rushing was in the Rose Bowl.
That breaks his longest current streak for a ball club, 67 games without a 100-yard rusher. And this is we're seeing today what the Bengals have expected from Ki-Jana Carter since they took him in the first round of the draft in '95, and then he had the knee injury and the operation out a year, and then the slow comeback last year, and now he's starting to hit his stride. Passes screen, nice move by Carl Pickens. Pickens upfield along the sideline, will be caught from behind. A reach and a stretch by Darian Gordon. 48 yards on the play.
Remember what I told you earlier, Charlie. One about first down. There's another effective first down play. But more importantly, they're taking the long stuff away from Pickens, and they're saying, look, go ahead. Catch it and then run with it. This guy used to be a great punt returner, a great kick returner. And he knows what to do with the ball after he goes. And one thing you can count on with Pickens, when he catches a ball, you got a pretty good shot at getting a first down.
Pickens with 8 receptions in each of the first 2 ball games. Play action fake to Carter, roll right, pressure, steps away. Running route down the sideline for Blake, first down out of bounds. He's not afraid to run with the ball. And something else, the coaching staff likes him to run with the ball, and normally you don't have that with a quarterback.
Well, you know, we talk about you got to contain John Elway, don't let him out. Well, you do that because he's such a threat down the field throwing it. Jeff Blake's a threat down the field throwing it, but he's also a threat down the field running it. Keep contain. Contain is dropped there by Neil Smith. Part responsibility and part just pure speed put on by Jeff Blake. This guy is a serious weapon and will be for a while if he can get a line that'll block in front of him.
Blake 10 of 12, 139 yards passing and the touchdown. Play action fake, rolling right, being chased, throws it away. He had no chance to turn upfield. So it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 14. Michael Dean Perry, Harold Hasselback were chasing. Keith Traylor has a bruised right shoulder and may not return as an inside defensive tackle for the Denver Broncos.
And Ma'a Tanavasa is in number 98 in his place. Tanavasa comes into the game with a couple of sacks, and what they need from Tanavasa is what Traylor was giving him, not the sacks. They need the oomph. They need the splat. They need that run stop in the middle.
2nd down and 10, 14-yard line of Denver. Good protection all the time in the world. Rose buys even more time. Then he has to throw it away. He was out of time. Excellent coverage by the secondary of the Denver Broncos.
And Alan Aldridge almost separated the young quarterback Blake from his senses on that hit there. You know that's coming. If you're a head coach like Bruce Coslett or a quarterback coach like Kenny Anderson, right about now you're saying, okay, dump it. Now please dump it. And if you run, don't take a shot. Don't take a hit, throw it. You don't want your quarterback to take too many of these shots like this.
Young quarterback is durable with 44 consecutive starts.
But you don't want to test it.
3rd down and 10. Turns and takes a timeout. So we'll step aside. 10:39. That's the time remaining, 3rd quarter. As we come back, Alan Aldridge, middle inside linebacker for the Denver Broncos, stirring up the crowd here. 3rd down and 10 at the Denver 14. Drilled on a line before the break. Pass is complete at the 4-yard line to Carl Pickens.
You saw that graphic when we came back. Now over 150 yards in less than 5 minutes of the 3rd quarter for this Bengals offense. Goes to his steady weapon in Pickens and throws that in a perfect spot only where Carl can get it.
Denver, fewest points allowed this season in the NFL, averaging 10.3. They've given up 14. They're on the verge of giving up 21. That is Pickens' 6th catch of the ball game. He's been averaging 8 a game. Carter, right side, picked up about 3.5 yards out.
You know, Ki-Jana Carter, where you talk about the yards he's getting and whatnot for Bruce Coslett's offense, that's the longest run by a Cincy running back since 1971. But what he needs from his offensive line is consistent protection for Bruce Coslet's quarterback and Kenny Anderson's quarterback. You saw the quarterback coach standing next to Coslet. The offensive line is the key to the rest of this game for the Bengals.
Kijana Carter, the tailback, second down, goal to go. Darnay Scott is in the slot right side. Play action fake, end zone, too high, incomplete. Pickens is complaining along the back edge of the end zone that there was pass interference. It will be third down and goal to go, saying he was held on the wrist.
Well, it's a nice case of play action. They sell it very well into the line. Blake does a nice job of selling the play action. The ball is tipped at the last second. I don't have any idea what Carl Pickens is complaining about because there was nothing there.
Eric Bieniemy now the remaining back, three wide receivers. Pitch to Bieniemy. Stops, cuts, goes again, 1 yard line. Fourth down and a yard. Decision time for Cincinnati. Go for it.
Now you're in their house, Bruce Coslet. Coslet does not have much back down in him. I talked about Romanowski not. Bruce Coslet's going to go for it on fourth down. This would mean the world to the confidence of Jeff Blake in this offense. They're going to get noise, and they're going to get a timeout.
Fourth down and goal to go, 1 yard line. We have a timeout. Cincinnati takes the timeout. Don't go away. Back in a moment.
Out of those 10 plays, Charlie, that's 3 big plays, 7 average plays. This for the Bengals and Bruce Coslet is a defining play.
Right side, play action fake, thrown, end zone, flag. This one with 2 flags needs to be sorted out. Holding against Cincinnati. Kijana Carter really carries out a fake well.
It was such a good fake, he'd have walked in if they'd have given him the ball.
Yes.
There are 2 fouls by the offense. Holding number 65. That foul is declined. And a chop block by the center. That foul is accepted. 15 yards, fourth down.
Explain a chop block by a center.
Well, a chop block is when a defensive lineman is engaged and then you get a chop block. I don't believe it was the center, Brill, 65, that they called for that chop block.
Guard.
It was Bram, 74. As the man was engaged with Brill's the center, Bram came in and chopped down at the knees. Pelfrey ended the game 2 weeks ago as the all-time percentage leader as a place kicker, and 4 straight, as you see there, Charlie, he's missed.
Including a 56-yarder in this ball game. This one from 33 yards away. To break the tie. Flag is flying. Through the uprights. Kick is good if it stands. 2 flags are down.
We're going to have motion on the Bengals line.
Before the snap, there was a false start on the offense. Number 60, 5 yards.
Left tackle, number 60, Rod Jones.
Rod Jones, right here from the top, number 60. Watch his flinch. The flinch move inside and the twitch on the offensive side. Defining moments, Charlie, define in both directions.
It becomes a 38-yard field goal attempt to break the tie. Bad snap, nice recovery by the hold. Lee Johnson makes the whole recovery. The kick is good from 38 yards away. Cincinnati regains the lead. They're up by 3, 17-14 with 8:24 left to go. We're in the third quarter.
Well, Bruce Coslet and the Bengals just went from an oh yay situation to an okay situation. The guys come off the sideline here. Coslet talks to Willie Anderson, his young offensive tackle, and says, Okay, it's all right. We got some points. But watch the job that Lee Johnson does. Little hitch in his get-along as he put it down. All of the exchange problem that ruined the game for the Eagles last week against the Dallas Cowboys, but his punter has done it. He's gotten his points. A little bit of disappointment, but a coach can't let that show. He's got to say, hey, we scored on him in Mile High.
Program note on NBC. On NBC premiere Wednesday, it's Third Rock from the Sun. It's a shocker. Who's this?
Your new wife!
My wife!
Hi, honey, I'm home!
It's Roseanne, Dick's new wife, on the 1-hour season premiere of Third Rock this Wednesday on NBC. Whoa.
It's like telling Shanahan that you're his new quarterback, Joe.
Here's the kick returned by Vaughn Hebra. Honey, I'm home. Check out the ticker at home. Denver now will move on offense with 8:14. That is the time remaining left in the third quarter.
Remember what defined this Denver offense in the first half. John Elway initially taking the big hits. What does Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak, his offensive coordinator, do? They say, look, here's a diet of number 30, Terrell Davis. They rammed it with Davis. Then the big plays came later with the passing game.
Denver starts at their own 32-yard line with a play-action fake. Elway stands in. Rolls right. Goes down the side. Almost intercepted. Whoa. Greg Myers almost picked it off.
Good anticipation by Myers coming from that deep safety position because Elway is dangerous when he rolls out. If you're only going to rush 4 people against John Elway, you had best find a way to keep contained on him because he's going to find McCaffrey here running all the way across the field, trying to make the deep throw on the run, and as the safety moves inside Myers, he thwarts that play.
Second down. Elway again. Again, quick time. This one sails a little high, but he has a tall receiver. And McCaffrey at 6'5" from Stanford. As the reception, Ashley Ambrose with the tackle, 14 yards on the play. First down, Denver.
You know, we've got the baseball playoffs and the World Series coming up on NBC. You're going to hear the term high heat a lot. Well, John Elway from 30, 40 yards away, still at 37 years old, can throw a ball that far with a lot of high heat. I mean, that is no reaction time for the defensive back, Ashley Ambrose. He just brings it. And McCaffrey actually says since Elway hurt his arm, he throws it harder.
Again, play action fake. Sets up deep. Pump fake. Goes back over the middle. Pass is complete to Terrell Davis. About 7 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 3. Steve Tovar with the tackle.
And John Elway's 2 touchdown passes in the first half were completely different. First one, a blown coverage. He throws a little of that high heat to McCaffrey to his 6 points. And then this time, it's just purely a timing pass for 6 points to Rod Smith. Both those plays set up by excellent running execution by the offensive line and Terrell Davis.
Second down and short. About time for Terrell Davis. Takes the pitch, cuts back, leads forward, has the first down. Greg Myers with the tackle. On the subject of John Elway, what did he do last week against the Rams?
Well, it was one of those weird halves. I mean, he was 9 of 20 at the half, folks. Look at that, 9 of 20, ended up 16 of 28. He smoked them in the second half. You got to be careful with John Elway. He bruised his shoulder a little bit on a play, came out, looked tentative, came back in. Next 2 plays were touchdowns.
First down, Terrell Davis. Needs 4 yards to reach the 100-yard rushing mark for the 4th straight week. Stopped by Dan Wilkinson. When we talked with Big Daddy Wilkinson yesterday, you asked him the difference this year, and he said, I'm preparing my body more for the whole season. That's the difference now than when I first came into the league.
Well, you know, I was really struck with how mature this young man is now. He came in as a young 20-year-old out of Ohio State. You know, he's a man that now worries about responsibilities on his defense. The responsibilities not only of his own, but also his teammates. This guy will be around a long time making life miserable for offensive linemen.
Terrell Davis now has his 100 yards for the 4th straight week. Pass goes to Shannon Sharp. He pulls it in. That is his first reception of the ball game. Steve Tovar pulls him down. You see the smile. He's glad to get one.
Well, you know, he's finally kind of active. He's been a little hindered, but here's Shannon Sharp just releasing out real quick from that tight end spot. When you get the running game and Terrell Davis makes that defense not bring 6 or 7 people on a blitz trying to knock John Elway's head off, you see a lot of short, efficient passes from this offense. You're expecting the thunder. You're expecting the quick strike. And they're slowly nicking you to death.
Third down and 1. Terrell Davis. Needing 1. He gets a couple just inside the 30-yard line. First down, Denver.
You know, maybe it's Terrell Davis's background. Because, you know, when he came out of Georgia, he wasn't drafted very high. I mean, this guy was a steal. Kejon Carter was the first pick in that draft. And here's a guy that's had a 1,000-yard season or two. What has he done? He's very unspectacular, but he's one of the hardest working running backs that will absolutely bore you on the sideline to watch. He hits in, he gets 4. He hits in, he gets 3. Rarely do you see that running back, Terrell Davis, get a negative.
Timeout to repair umpire's equipment.
And equipment timeout to repair the umpire's equipment.
Of course, what's wrong with the umpire's equipment might be more information than we need to know.
Neil Gerb is the umpire. You have your telestrator ready to help us in case we need it on the umpire's equipment?
I don't really want to go there.
All right. Is it back? Is the telestrator back from ER in our live coverage? First down at the 30-yard line. Elway, 3-step drop. His rainbow shot. It is caught, but out of bounds. Ed McCaffrey is out of bounds. Nice touch, just laying it in over the shoulder of the defender.
Well, McCaffrey is looking forward over one shoulder. He has to adjust his body. And one of the best parts about this play, it's not the pass. It's not really right there the almost catch. It's the sales job McCaffrey does afterwards. Watch the ball. Watch his legs.
Ooh.
I'll be honest, I think he caught that and should have been marked out of bounds at about the 1 foot line.
I agree with you. Second down and 10. McCaffrey pulled down at the 23-yard line by Jimmy Spencer. Let's go back. We have another angle of that McCaffrey almost would-be, could-be catch.
See, they throw the short stuff to McCaffrey. You forget about what the kind of speed this guy's got. He's a 4.5 40 type guy. Now, you got to look at the possession. If he has possession, does he have it there? No. Now he does, and the first thing to hit is the ball in his elbows out of bounds.
Third down and 3 at the 23. Davis pops through right side. One of the things we ought to point out, life is not lived or football is not played, nor is it officiated in slow motion as we have a chance to review it. It happens in real speed, and as you said, McCaffrey has good speed, great speed perhaps, for a youngster who stands 6'5". So the officials have to make a call on an entirely different, from a different standpoint than what we have a chance to look at.
Charlie, honestly, the best people in the world are on football fields on Sundays in the NFL. That includes the officials.
First down at the 18-yard line. Elway overthrows everybody. He was out of time. Pressure was coming at him. Follow the NFL online at NBCSports.com. This week, Gil Brandt breaks down the blitz, how it was developed through the years. Roger Staubach discusses the decision to retire and how injuries took their toll on his career. And vote in our interactive poll, the question which asks, if you were a quarterback, which receiver would be your go-to guy with the game on the line? That's a good question.
Well, mine's hurt.
Jerry Rice. It's all at NBC Sports. JerryRice.com. Okay. Second down and 10. Elway. Diving grab right at the goal line. Touchdown. Rod Smith, his second touchdown grab of the ball game. His 4th of the year. The Broncos regain the lead with 2.5 minutes to go in the third.
Well, you know, Rod Smith is doing the mile-high salute. You know who he ought to salute? He ought to salute Terrell Davis in the backfield. Watch Davis come over here and block. Bang! That gives John Elway the time to throw that pass to Rod Smith. That is timing, that is teamwork, and that is a Pro Bowl, all-pro running back doing the grunt work.
A high snap, but pulled down by Tom Roy. Jason Elam adds the point after. Head smash, Denver 21-17. You have just witnessed John Elway's 260th career touchdown, one behind Dave Craig. Elam kicks it away. David Dunn on the return. Cuts back. Dunn at 6'3", 220 pounds out of Fresno State. Excellent return man.
Well, they've gotten some good field position, but, you know, this whole situation is because of that man and the pass he threw to Rod Smith. And one other little thing. When a receiver catches the ball and goes to the ground, he can roll in the end zone. He's not in, the ball's not in. The roll put the ball in. He was never touched. And the mile-high, I don't know, many military people would appreciate that being called a salute.
He needs work.
That was wilted lettuce.
First down from the 29-yard line. Pass is complete to Pickens.
Got it, baby, Jeff. Good job.
His 7th reception of the ball game.
Remember what I said, Charlie, about calm and composure for this offense. You've got to get in a situation like this before you can really appreciate how high your heart rate gets up. This crowd's going nuts. This team feeds off this mile-high stadium crowd better than any other team in the NFL. And the key for a young offense is to take deep breaths and just keep executing the game plan.
You just had a chance to watch the ticker go by to bring you up to date on what's going on today in the NFL. John Carter slides down the line, gets all the way down to the corner, pick up 2 yards on the play, maybe 3, depending on where they mark him out. Home field winning percentage for Denver since 1974, including postseason.
Hey, you know, and that Pittsburgh stat there in the middle, they've had some good teams lately. But I can tell you, I played there in the late 70s and early 80s. Going into Pittsburgh was a nightmare with Bradshaw and that great defense. But I've never played in a stadium harder to win in than right here at Mile High.
Second down and 7. Blake. 2-step drop, throws very quickly. Darnay Scott, flag is down.
I got to hear this one.
It'll be a personal foul.
He picked him up in the field of play, and for all he knew, Charlie, he was putting him down in the field of play. There's no rule about being aggressive, legally aggressive. I didn't see anything illegal about that.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. On the defense, number 39. Slammed him to the ground after the play was over. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
The key word, slamming him to the ground. Here it is.
Up, over, down, in play. I think that stinks.
I agree with you.
You know, I'll tell you, Charlie, if they want him to treat him nicely, they should give him all blankies and pillows to lay him down with, but I don't think they're going to do that. Ray Crockett's got every reason in the world to be just a little miffed.
First down, 30-yard line of Denver.
I'm not sure miffed is the first word that comes to his mind either.
Carter, 30-yard line. No gain, second down and 10. Tyrone Braxton brings down Kijana Carter.
You know, remember who we're talking about in this defense. Mobley, the second-year linebacker in the middle of the screen, is now playing middle linebacker 51. Normally on the outside, they're moving these young linebackers around. Nice job of hit and fill. All the blockers were taken up. He just had played go get the ball.
Pickens and Scott on the far side. Second 10. Unabated to the quarterback. Was there movement? Alfred Williams, there's always a finger pointing. Was there movement by the offensive line?
Well, that's his story, and he's sticking to it.
Offsides on the defense, number 91. Unabated to the quarterback. 5 yards, still second down.
You know, Alfred Williams is complaining, saying, you know, the tight end move, the tight end move. But watch right here. Watch Willie Anderson. He flinches just a little bit, but it's after Alfred Williams was about 3 yards into the backfield. So I think Alfred was trying to sell a little chicken there.
Cincinnati penalized 88 yards, Denver 66. 3-step drop, flag is down. They want to blow. With this crowd, the play is dead. They got to get louder whistles. Players cannot
There's
hear
a
the
false
whistle.
start on the offense. The right guard, 5 yards, second down.
All you can do, Charlie, is blow it as loud as you can and as much as you can.
Maybe a whistle and a bullhorn when they're here.
So Jeff Blake heard the whistle. But Jeff Blake looks up and see those foaming mouths and those blearing eyes coming from the defensive side, and they're not saying they're stopping.
They didn't hear the whistle. That's the second time in the ballgame that we've had that happen.
1 second on the game clock, please.
One second back on the game clock, 1 second then remaining in the third quarter. The ball back at the 30-yard line, second down and 10. Then they wind the clock, and that's the end of the quarter. So we have 3 in the book, 1 to go. We've got a good one. Broncos are up 21-17.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
This is Charlie Jones and Randy Cross start the fourth quarter. Mile High Stadium. Denver up 21-17. Cincinnati at the Broncos 30-yard line, second down and 10. Late to throw. Here's the screen to Carter. It's infiltrated by the Broncos. It'll lose yardage.
Bill Romanowski, Charlie, was all over that screen pass. We talked about the veteran leadership somebody like Romanowski brings. A pressure situation, a pressure down. That is what stops this thing, because it's very well set up.
A loss of 3, third down 13. Bill Romanowski, 6'4", 241 pounds, out of Boston College. Darnay Scott goes wide to the far side, Pickens to the near side.
They've done a lot of business on third and long.
Pickens a crossing pattern, a sliding grab. The 26-yard line, maybe the 25-yard line. Still about 5 or 6 yards shy of the first down.
That puts Pelfrey in a medium situation for Bruce Cosler. This is an easy decision. It's fourth and long enough. You try to put these extra points on and get the ball back and score some more later.
They'll mark it at the 34-yard line, an attempt of 44 yards. He has missed from 56 and hit from 38. Good snap, good hold, and it's down the middle. It is good from 44 yards away. And the Bengals pull within 1 of Denver. Back in a moment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Texaco, a world of energy. By Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up. By UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL. And by Nokia Wireless Phones. Inspired technology with a human touch.
13 minutes and 30 seconds left in the ball game here in Denver, and the Broncos are up only by 1, 21-20 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Ron Hebron is the return man. Doug Pelfrey, who just booted the 44-yard field goal, kicks it away. Take it at the 9, now out to the 20, 25. Leads out to the 30-yard line. Here's the Miller Time game summary. 21-20, as I mentioned. Elway is thrown for 152 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Blake, 177 yards and a touchdown. The unexpected.
But without a doubt, it's Cincinnati getting a 100-yard rusher in Keyjana Carter. I mean, that has been the difference. That one huge play just sparked the confidence level of this entire football team.
Denver at their own 31-yard line, first down. Elway has pressure. Dumps it over the middle to Terrell Davis on the run. He pulls it down at the 36-yard line as we move to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Charlie, in Buffalo, Indy once led Buffalo 26-0. This is Antoine Smith, 15 yards and a touchdown for his very first touchdown in the NFL. The two-point conversion attempt failed. The Bills have now closed to 26-16 late third quarter, Charlie.
There's plenty of time remaining in that ball game, too. Mark the ball at the 36-yard line, second down and 5. Davis jumps to the outside, has the first down.
What a fabulous move by Terrell Davis at the end of that run. I mean, Jimmy Spencer fills up to hit Terrell Davis. Remember, we talked about him being consistent, being steady, and once in a while he can give you that sharp move and make you miss. That is a Nolan Ryan no-hitter whiff there.
In the first game against Kansas City, Davis rushed for 101 yards. Second game, Seattle, 107. St. Louis, 103. 114 yards thus far in this ball game. 4 consecutive 100-yard games. This one a little low and incomplete.
Yeah, more importantly, too, from the way John Elway's running back, Terrell Davis, runs the ball, is how much he runs the ball. He averages consistently in the 4.5 to 5 yards a carry. I mean, he came into this game averaging 4.6 yards a carry. That's like you give it to him on first down, you're looking at 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5. That's a dream for Elway and Shanahan.
Check out the ticker, see what's going on in the NFL today. What's going on in Mile High Stadium? The Denver Broncos have their hands full with the Cincinnati Bengals. Pitch to Davis, cuts back over the middle, near the 50-yard line. They'll spot at the 49-yard line. It'll be third down, still around 3 yards to go, maybe 4 yards to go for the first down. Rico McDonald makes the tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Good job up front by Habib and Zimmerman over there on that right side. A quick toss to Davis. Good blocking up front opens that thing up. At first, it doesn't look like much. But you got a block down by Sharp, a block out by Zimmerman, and just a quick 5 yards.
Third down, almost 4 yards to go for the first down. Timeout, Denver. Stops the clock, 11:22. Time remaining in the game. Back in a moment. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch that live. Your dad was a doctor, was an actor, and he acted as a doctor at times. But he played one on television. So.
I don't care. They still can't have my telescope.
Meanwhile, Terrell Davis pops it loose. He'll score. Willie Green, who called the timeout, now becomes the hero. That was a third down play.
When you play the John Elway Broncos, you say, hey, look, you never quit, you never stop on defense because you're worried about John Elway. Well, you better add Terrell Davis into the better not quit, better not stop category. Greg Myers misses a tackle, and then it is all nothing but blue end zone coming up for Terrell Davis. Great job up front by the offensive line. Quick explosion and a mile-high salute.
Extra point is good. 28-20, the Denver Broncos. Davis has now rushed for 173 yards.
See next Sunday at the special time of 12:30 Eastern.
Terrell Davis scoring from 50 yards out, 24 carries, 173 yards rushing in the ballgame.
You know, in the past, everybody used to talk about his migraines. Now it's not the migraines he has, it's the ones he's causing defenders and defensive coordinators like Dick LeBeau.
David Dunn at the 5-yard line on the return to the 20. Hit at the 20, leans forward about the 22-yard line as we go back to the touchdown.
Interesting play in that they let the linebacker Andre Collins go outside, scoop in, block out, block down, watch the hole that develops, and then watch Greg Myers, 31, come up and say, I got him. No, I don't. There he goes. Gets a nice block from Ed McCaffrey in the defensive backfield. And he has 173 yards, his career high 194 last year against Baltimore.
And a look at Greg Myers, who missed the tackle. First down at the 22-yard line. John Carter, maybe a yard. Darian Gordon moves up and makes the tackle.
Remember, I keep talking about the calm and the composure. There's very few places where momentum can be a physical thing. This crowd gets so loud and feeds off this defense when it plays well that when a John Mobley makes a big play and the house goes nuts, you can physically on the field as an offense going against him, you can feel the energy being drawn into this defense. You got to take a deep breath and execute.
Second down and 9. Pressure coming. Blake rolls, pump fakes, keeps up the sideline, out of bounds.
Well, that wasn't any Joe Average that Jeff Blake made miss. That was John Mobley coming with a full head of steam.
Who's supposed to pick him up?
Jeff Blake.
He did.
Well, you had 5 guys blocking 5 guys. He's only got so many blockers up front. Mobley comes real late from the outside, top of the screen. You see he's completely clean. There's no one on that side of the ball to block him. You know, and honestly, sometimes in offensive game plans, quarterbacks say, if he comes, he's mine. He was his and he missed it.
Third down and 7. 3 wide receivers, 2 backs. Both backs in the block. Here comes more pressure. Pass is complete. Spinning and leaning forward. David Dunn trying to stretch out for the first down. It will be ever so close.
I tell you, if this spot is for a first down, and it is, our referee Mike Carey signals first down. Take a picture of Jeff Blake, because right now he's the picture of that calm and that composure. They are blitzing him. They bring Romanowski inside. They bring Aldridge in his face. He made Mobley miss before. He made Aldridge miss this time. And then his receiver Dunn gets him the first down.
Cincinnati at their own 33-yard line. Just over 9 minutes time remaining in the game. Play action fake. Deep down the sideline. Tipped and it is incomplete. James Hunden from Portland State, the intended receiver.
Tell you, this Denver defense is attacking Cincinnati right now. They're coming after Blake, and right now the officials are letting a little of this bumping, a little of the grinding and hitting going on without throwing flags. That was just belly to belly, good D&O.
D&O, defense and offense?
Very good.
I thought I'd just throw that in. I got that from ER. The producer at ER called me and wanted me to help you in our live coverage. Second down and 10, 33-yard line. ER this week on NBC will be live. This will be fun to watch. Rainbow deep has his man there, and oh, it's dropped. Darnay Scott. Oh, no. Scott from San Diego State. Whoa.
You get a flag right in that defensive holding part of the field.
But that was 7, or maybe 8. Oh.
Holding on the defense, number 53, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
On Romanowski. Nevertheless, here's the drop.
Working out of the slot. Coming in, going long, open. You know what? He saw that go all the way through his hands. John Copeland, the big defensive lineman, saying, I could have caught that.
First down, Cincinnati. 8:56 time remaining. Corey Dillon. Dillon a stutter step down the sideline. Bruce Cossett said he wanted to see this big youngster run, and he can run.
But Corey Dillon is 230 pounds. Corey Dillon, he's giving you that stutter step. If you hesitate before you hit him, you're going to bounce off. Because you're going to see a stutter. You're going to see a bounce off of the leg. Now here's a stutter. Here's another bounce off, trying to arm tackle. Don't be fooled by this man being a halfback. He is strong, and you do not arm tackle either one of these Bengals halfbacks.
He picks up 28 yards on the play. We have a timeout on the field. Trainers have moved out. Clock is stopped with 8:48. Time remaining in the ballgame.
You see what this calm and this confidence has done for Bruce Coslett and Jeff Blake's offense? It has taken this mile-high crowd that was so loud, going so crazy for a while. It's quieted them down. It's made the defense step back. Bruce Coslett's done a great job of calling plays, but more importantly, Jeff Blake has kept his cool and he's executed around the plays.
The ball at the Denver 34-yard line. First down, Cincinnati. Eric Bieniemy might have a yard, might not have a yard. NBC Premier Week starts tomorrow, kicking off 5 nights of all-new must-see comedy, featuring the season premieres of Suddenly Susan, Fired Up in Caroline, plus The Naked Truth and Dateline. Don't miss a minute. NBC Premier Week, it starts tomorrow. I never thought it would get here. I'm ready for some good television.
That's the great thing about football. We don't have reruns. Give me the real thing.
Second down and 2. Ryan Milne, the fullback, in motion. We've got flags everywhere.
Brills, the center, was like the loneliest man in the city of Denver right there. Everybody else is backing up for a play. He never moved the ball. Never moved a muscle, much less the ball.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Named second down.
See, I like that they did not blame the center. They blamed the other 10 guys that moved. Watch. Everybody's moving. Look at Brills. Look at Brills.
You played some center. How does that happen?
That's pretty easy. You just get the wrong snap count and you don't move.
Go on first down. He said, what?
Hey, my theory was always, I got the ball, you're all wrong.
It's my ball if you want to continue playing.
That's right. You're going to believe these guys behind me or your lying eyes.
Second down and 15 at the 39. Pressure from the backside, steps away from it. Runs for the corner, brought down. John Mobley gets it. Third time he's been sacked in the ballgame.
Well, you remember, Mobley missed Blake earlier, and it's kind of like the dodge me once, that's okay, you're pretty good. Dodge me twice, fat chance. Nice job of bull rushing and stunning up front by the Denver defense, but he keeps them in the crosshairs the entire time. There's no diving and lunging. That's all straight defensive football for John Mobley out of Kutztown in Pennsylvania.
Third down and 18. Broncos show a 3-man rush. 7 in the secondary, 8 in the secondary. Incomplete, flag is down. James Hunden, the intended receiver.
Play clock ran
Delay
out.
on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Be third down and 23.
And if Bruce Coslett gets that same 3-man front again, you got to think he's not going to try to dink it off into a short zone like that. There's plenty of time left here if he can stop the Denver run. He has got to get his team in scoring position, scoring including a field goal.
Cincinnati will take the timeout. That is their last timeout of the ball game. They take it with 6:36 left to go. Don't go away. We'll be back in a moment. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining. Denver up 28-20. Cincinnati out of timeouts. Broncos have 2. It'll be third down and 23. In reality, how much yardage does Cincinnati want here?
About 15 yards puts them in field goal range of Pelfrey. They got no timeouts. You've got to give it a shot.
Blake rolls right, sets. He's going for the whole ball of wax. And he comes up empty. He had an opening to run. He could almost pick up the first down. I'm surprised with that.
I'm very, very surprised they were throwing all the way down in the end zone. I mean, You got plenty of time left here. Bruce Kozlett's defense, granted, has had a devil of a time stopping Terrell Davis.
But look at that opening that he has right there.
Well, those openings tend to close pretty quick when the defenders figure out he's running. But it actually goes through the arm of Crockett and bounces right off the face of Darnay Scott.
The Denver trainer out on the field. Mike Lodish from UCLA coming to the sideline.
Now you're looking at a must situation. Lodish is trying to plead in his case there, saying, it wasn't me, I swear, it wasn't me.
Lee Johnson now will kick. 4th down and 23. Darian Gordon, the return man for Denver. Picks it up at the 20. He gets the kick airborne. Takes a bit of a Cincinnati roll. A remarkable effort. It will go for about 2.5 yards, maybe 3 yards on the kick.
Well, you want to argue at any time as to whether or not some kickers, especially punters or athletes, challenge a guy like Lee Johnson with this kind of an air ball. You got air balls that miss the net. This is an air ball that almost missed the field.
Greg Truitt is the long snapper. And this was truly a long snap.
And that is giving it up by Johnson, too, because he's out of the protection zone. He knows as soon as he goes to kick that thing, he's going to get slammed.
As soon as the ball hits the ground, the kicker loses all protection.
There's a snapper Truitt right there. I've done that before. It is not hard for that ball to get away from it. I snapped on a field goal once and lost 35 yards.
Denver first down at their own 45-yard line. Elway to Rod Smith. Has it to the 50.
You know, much like we talk about boxers, when they get an opponent in a bad situation, they get him in trouble, they've got to learn to finish people off. You're seeing right now is this Denver offense knows they've got the Cincinnati Bengals in that type of position. The Bengals are hurt, the Bengals are reeling. And right now, Elway and Shanahan are going to try to give him a blow that'll finish him off.
Denver leading 28-20. 5.5 minutes time remaining in the ballgame. Davis jumps to the outside. The race is on. A little stutter step, and then he is caught and taken out of bounds by Greg Myers.
And that's now a career high for Terrell Davis. That's a 34-yard run. And that is just Terrell Davis, too, reading the blocking up front. His offensive line, especially that left side of Mark Schlereth and Tony Jones, collapses things. And that gives Terrell Davis 25 carries for 207 yards.
First down at the Cincinnati 15-yard line. Slides outside. Davis gets the handoff again. Let's go back to the blocking that opened the hole for Terrell Davis.
Well, watch the left side. You got Jones and Schlereth collapse things this way, the cutback and the see you later by Terrell Davis. The collapse. Rod Smith has a little bit of a block on Jimmy Spencer, but that's just good blocking up front and a quick burst by Terrell Davis.
Second down and 7 at the 12, and as you mentioned, a career high 211 yards rushing. So 4 games, 100 plus, 100 plus, 100 plus, 200 plus. Elway waits, throws is low, incomplete. He was going to Rod Smith, who has scored 2 touchdowns. Next Sunday, exciting NFL action will continue beginning at a special time, 12:30 Eastern Time, following our Ryder Cup coverage with the NFL on NBC. A full slate of regional action comes your way as Jacksonville battles Washington. The Broncos take on Atlanta. Seattle faces Kansas City. The Jets play the Bengals. A regional action. So check the local listings for the game in your area next Sunday on NBC. I've got the Broncos at Atlanta, and you will be where?
I'll be in San Diego with the Ravens and the Chargers. But Charlie, Terrell Davis is the first running back in Broncos history to rush for over 200 yards.
Whoa.
In a game.
3rd down and 7, and he adds to that total.
There's people you see do great things that you say, well, gee, he's great, and it happens all the time, and that's nice. Enough nice things can't happen to a young man like Terrell Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, you want this guy to be your son. He is so nice. And to have these kind of things happen to him is just wonderful, and that's because he's got a quarterback in Elway that scares people, and they worry about the pass. He's got a coach like Shanahan that calls the plays, and a very good offensive line.
4th down and 2. Timeout. Elway was out of time. Whoa, he looked up and he was looking at an almost 0 on the play clock. Back in a moment. Greg Truitt, who was the long snapper for the Cincinnati Bengals, and Lee Johnson, the punter, who salvaged the punt after it went way over his head and got only 3 yards on it, set up in reality this drive. John Elway was looking at the play clock, trying to bark and make a pull off sides for the 1st down. That didn't work, so a 25-yard field goal is added by Jason Elam, and that will put the game in reality out of sight for the Denver Broncos. They go up 31-20 with 3:26 left to go. Now, a lot of things can happen in 3:26, so it's not a definitive 4-0 record, but it's very close.
Well, you've got a very quick strike offense. You've seen the great plays this offense can do for the Bengals, but you know, the Denver defense has looked awful strong at times too. So Bruce Coslet's team is thinking nothing but huge chunks offensively. Jeff Blake needs at least 2 or 3 more of those big plays with this much time. It's still 3.5 minutes to go. But remember, they used their last timeout,
yes.
So there's no timeouts. Quick note, too, about Terrell Davis was 27 carries, 215 yards. Number 2 in the league so far for a daily rush. Eddie George, week 1, had 216 yards against Oakland.
Jason Elam will kick it away. David Dunn on the far side. Corey Dillon on the near side of the return man. Dunn will field it at the 1-yard line. Out to the 15, cuts back at the 20. Nice return across the 30, out to around the 32-yard line. Guess what? A flag around the 23. In that Seattle-San Diego game, seesaw battle, Seattle has taken the lead 20-19 in the 4th quarter.
During the return, holding on the return, team number 72, 10 yards, 1st down.
Holding on Scott Brumfield, and not a very good way to start your comeback drive.
Hey, you're going to be looking at a 3-man rush and all kinds of coverage. You talked about that Seattle-San Diego game. You know, is somebody going to remind Warren Moon he's 40 years old and isn't supposed to be doing these things? Because he threw that touchdown pass to Joey Galloway and put him ahead.
He'll be 41 in November, but his arm doesn't know it. I think he's having the time of his life. I saw him last week, and he's throwing like he did 20 years ago. Cincinnati down by 11 points. Take a look at the ticker. That'll bring you up to date on all the other scores. Bengals starting from their own 12-yard line, 1st down. 3 wide receivers, split backs. Trying to dump it off in the middle. It is tipped and it is caught, and they are going to rule it a reception. Clock continues to move. Cincinnati is out of timeout. 18-yard line. It goes for 6, 2nd down and 4.
It was a good job of concentration by Dillon because Montunavasa actually got his hand on that.
This one is tipped again. Neil Smith. That will stop the clock.
Look at Neil Smith. Isn't defense fun when you're up by 8 with about 2.5 minutes to go and they got to throw the ball?
More fun when you're up by 11.
Well, I tell you what, it's a lot more fun when you're in those blue and orange jerseys than if you're in those white ones. I've been in those white ones a lot. We're in this kind of a place. It's loud, and those guys in front of you are they're frothing. They are so excited because they know they can just draw a bead on your quarterback.
Denver shows a 5-man rush. Now they show 6 men. 5 come. It is dropped. Pickens, a 5-man rush, out of time. It was low to Pickens, and it's incomplete. It will be 4th down and 4. Cincinnati has no option. They have to go for it here. 2:45 time remaining. They trail by 11, 31-20.
And if you don't get a first down here, obviously you're going to lose the game, but also obviously you're going to give up another touchdown.
Three wide, split back. On target, far side, should be the first down. Darnay Scott hangs on to this one. He dropped one earlier in the ball game when he was wide open on a deep pattern. 29-yard line, first down.
I don't care how tall Jeff Blake isn't. This guy can swell up with the best of them. When he has to do it, he can bring it.
Good protection all the time in the world. Now he is out. He'll scramble for it, and he goes into the slide to the 36-yard line. Clock continues moving.
Very important they get it off here in the next 8 seconds before the 2-minute warning.
They won't do it. 2-minute warning will be given to both benches, and we'll be back with the Broncos leading 31-20. We have 2 minutes left here at Mile High Stadium. Denver is up by 11, 31-20, and time permitting, at the conclusion of our game, we will switch you to the Kingdome in Seattle for the conclusion of the San Diego-Seattle Seahawks ball game. Seattle is leading in that one by a score of 20-19. Second down. Flag is down. Pass is complete. Caught near the line of scrimmage, but a flag came flying immediately.
That's going to be holding against the Cincinnati Bengals late.
We believe on Rod Jones, the left tackle, number 60.
A little bit of a takedown.
He'll take the penalty.
Holding on the offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
This is a free-for-all. Remember, you don't want to let him get your quarterback. Tanavasa is going to have a chance of getting him, and, you know, he never tackled him. That was not a takedown. That was just sort of a whoa. Put his arm around him, a whoa.
Well, that was the whoa 12th penalty against the Bengals for 123 yards. No flag, screen. Pass is complete to Corey Dillon. And Dillon gets out of bounds. That'll stop the clock at the 36-yard line. It'll be third down and about 3 yards to go for the first down. Bill Romanowski and Neil Smith taking him out of bounds. The highlight for Cincinnati, Kajana Carter, rushing for more than 100 yards.
Yeah, but the low light, on the other hand, is Terrell Davis getting 215 yards on a day that John Elway doesn't even breathe on 200 yards passing.
Elway is thrown for only 162 yards in the ballgame. Deep over the middle. That's going to be pass interference.
That was early.
You got it. There it is.
There comes
I'm
late.
so glad that somebody finally threw a flag. Darnay Scott, and he was nailed by Tyrone Braxton way before the ball got there.
Pass interference on the defense, number 34. Spot foul, automatic first down.
The far side receiver right here. Keep an eye on Scott. You know, life and football at times are timing. You want to go up, you want to time your pass, you want to time your attack, and the attack of Mr. Braxton was a little bit off.
He got there early for his appointment. Denver, 45-yard line, first down, 1:39 time remaining. Cincinnati, no timeout. Screen knocked down. Trying to throw a little middle screen to Eric Bieniemy, and it was knocked away by Michael Dean Perry.
Knocked away, was darn near squished. He put that thing right. You know, that's actually not a bad play sometimes. You throw it right at a defensive lineman, odds are he's not going to catch it. Watch this. Defensive linemen are a threat to pop the ball a lot quicker than they're going to catch the ball.
But he's got his catcher, he's got his wide receiver's gloves on.
Well, yeah, and you know he'd give the mile-high salute if he scored, but I wouldn't start practicing that salute too early.
Second down and 10. Four-man rush. Here is Dillon. Stretches out, clock is moving. 1:26 and counting. Tim McKyer with the tackle. Cincinnati taking way too much time. They're losing an extra 10 seconds on the setup here. Hit, sack, ball is free. It is scooped up by Alfred Williams. Jeff Blake is still on the ground, and Alfred Williams is in the end zone.
Alfred Williams scores a touchdown against the team that in 1991 made him their top pick. He did it because he wasn't blocked. Or Neil Smith wasn't blocked. He came free on Bruce Kozlik's quarterback, Jeff Blake. It was a clean hit. It was a legal hit. But it was a nasty hit. Neil Smith is going to come from the right side of your screen without ever breaking stride. I mean, he has launched himself into Jeff Blake. That ball comes loose, and Alfred Williams has got a free run to the end zone. And you know, the mile-high salute. Well, here's the Alfred leap. Not much for the landing, but he gets good style points on the jump.
Alfred needs work. Meanwhile, Jamie Brown was missing from the extra point team. He's a late arrival. Still with plenty of time for the extra point. It is good. Alfred Williams, 49 yards. His first NFL touchdown.
Comes Neil Smith, absolutely free. Willie Anderson, the right tackle, never lays a finger on him. He brutalizes Jeff Blake. The ball comes free. Nothing left but the jump. Look at, I mean, nobody moves. I never heard a whistle. Mike Carey, the referee, never waved his arms, but this offensive line stops.
And Williams is watching his dive on the jumbotron of the big screen here. And hang on to that football. That's a trophy.
Got to learn the roll part of that dive.
57 seconds, time remaining in the ballgame. Elam, a squib type kick right up the middle.
Somebody better get it.
Better get in a hurry. James Hundon recovered it. Earlier we said we might take you to the conclusion of the San Diego-Seattle game. Well, we're for sure now we're going to take you. Not there, we're going to go to the other end of the country, going to Buffalo for the Indianapolis-Buffalo game in Buffalo. And 29-23, the Baltimore Colts are leading the Buffalo Bills. We'll go to the conclusion of that one after this one's over.
Is that the same game that was 26-0 Colts?
Yes. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Another great Rich Stadium comeback so far, or attempt by the Bills.
On the ground is Corey Dillon. Dillon to the 40. Dillon fights his way across the 45 out to the 47-yard line. 21 yards on the play, and let's look at the total rushing yardage of Corey Dillon. He didn't see that much action earlier, with 3 carries, 54 yards. He has been impressive.
Yeah, the running game in general. Kajana Carter obviously getting over 100 yards has been impressive. But I tell you, just the offensive line at this point for the Bengals is a lot of things.
But one thing it is the most is it's just not good enough.
Jeff Blake, who was nailed by Neo Smith, is back, of course, in the ball game. He hands off to Corey Dillon again. And that is final. It is Denver 38, Cincinnati 20. In reality, a much closer game than that. Kijana Carter over 100 yards rushing. Terrell Davis over 200 yards rushing for the Denver Broncos. Denver's record, they are now 4-0. New England is also 4-0. Tampa Bay hosts Miami tonight. They are 3-0. Jacksonville, they are 2-0. So that wraps up the action here at Mile High Stadium. Well, we've got another change. We're going to go to Seattle. Let's join Mike Breen and James Lofton in the King Dome in Seattle.